round the clock, learning's home. You get the education for all. Gyanwani, education at your doorstep. It's only on Gyanwani.
Namaskar, my name is Shilpa Jadhav. I am teaching sociology in N.G. Acharya and D.K. Marathi College at Chembur. Friends, today we are going to see religion. Religion is not only related to the philosophy of ethics, morality, conduct and emotion, but to achieve the destined and ideal principle in the end. Politics. Politics means a competition to achieve power. However, when religion is being used to achieve power, it begins to discuss the relationship between the politics and religion. There are certain assignments to practice. For example, explain the terms influential caste, second one caste assembly, religion and politics. Also, there are assignments for practice or feedback of activities. The first, explain the influence of caste on politics. The second one, explain the significance of caste in democracy. The third, caste and politics are interrelated to each other. Explain. The fourth one, caste function as a pressure group in politics. Explain. Fifth one, explain the significance of caste in Indian politics. Sixth one, illustrate the relationship between the caste and politics. Next one, write a detailed essay on a caste and politics. Next, explain the significance of a religion in Indian politics. Next, religions and politics. Next one, explain the relationship between religions and politics. The second last, what are the modern tendencies in religions? Illustrate. And the last one, write a detailed essay on religion and politics. Now we are going to see block 2 in a unit number 4, regionalism and language in Indian politics. The objectives for this chapter. The first objective, to express the meaning of regionalism in Indian politics and language. Also to explain regional and linguistic variousness in Indian society. The third objective, to explain the nature and problems arising before the nation because of regionalism and language. The fourth objective, to record the reason arising in Indian politics due to regionalism and language. The next one, to explain the nature of problems creating challenges for national integration due to regionalism and language. And the last objective, to evaluate the role of regionalism and language in Indian politics. Now we are going to see the introduction part. India is a sovereign country. The political process in India truly began after the independence of India and the implementation of the constitution. Some of the factors which cast an influence on Indian political system are casteism, regionalism and language. India's structure of states is originally based on languages. Each state has been divided into the people speaking similar language. In addition to this, each state has its own historical tradition which has similarity mostly with the social and cultural life. As a result of this, people in each state have the feeling of awareness, and it is cherished with sensitivity as a matter of proudness. Besides, the other reasons of dissimilarity is that some of the states in India are well developed while some others are still undeveloped, and this kind of situation also tends towards creating dissimilarity among them. Now we are going to see regionalism in Indian politics. First part, regionalism. The regionalism is an issue which arises from the problems cropped up through the developmental process. Before the period of independence, the regionalism was in existence in the terms such as British region, Mughal region and the regions of small dynastic organization. In these regions, there was developmental imbalance and shrinked attitudes as the cities were mostly considered as the center of power. During the post-independence period, the endeavors were made to seek balanced development in these states or regions through the implementation of 5-year plans. But unfortunately, to state, the flow of money is mostly diverted towards consolidating the regions having political power. As an outcome of this, some of the states are highly developed while some other states remain economically backward. Therefore, the people in this particular undeveloped region give more prominence to their regionalism instead of considering themselves as an inevitable part of India. The demand of all sorts of facilities to be created in their regions has been taking a surging speed along with a feeling of discrimination among them. As a result of this, the regionalism has become one of the major challenging issues before the Indian democratic system. Regionalism generally means to love more than to love more on the region, but the eruption of people's feeling that they are denied justice or they are not given proper attention give rise to emerge the issue of regionalism. Later on, the feeling to become separate from the nation take a root demand for a separate existence. In this context, a region can be said that it is such a geographical place which is completely different from the other regions in respect of social, political, historical traditions, language, race, mentality, etc. The people in such regions make efforts to integrate themselves by showing that they are different from the other regions or state. There are several factors that are responsible for the regionalism. The first factor, geographical variousness. The second one, cultural variousness. The third one, esteem of a regional language. Fourth one, independent state movements. Fifth, imbalance of development among the state. Sixth one, demand of Adivasis for separate states. Seventh one, political parties and their role. Eighth, opposed to other regional people. Ninth one, regional organizations. Tenth, caste, religions and creeds. Second last, inefficient leadership. Second last, inefficient leadership. And the last one, massive and large states. Now we are going to see the nature of regionalism. The thought of regionalism has emerged out because of variousness in its nature, and it has now occupied a vast form. After the independence of India and the reconstruction of some states, the hopes and anticipation of people in some region could not be fulfilled properly, and the reason why the demand of a separate existence of a state emerged out. For example, the two states came in existence through Mumbai, linguistic state such as Maharashtra and Gujarat. The state of Punjab emerged out through the conflict between Punjabis and the Haryanvis. The state of Meghalaya was established through the demands of tribes such as Naga, Mizo, Garo, Jetio and Mirvir. Beside the Mizo revolutionaries brought in existence the states such as Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Assam through Mizoram, Nifa. As a result of all this history of states establishment, the feeling of selfishness, discrimination among the state, rise in administration expenses, major obstacle came into the way of the social welfare of the people in states. The demand of independent state is done for the economics, linguistic and political reason, and for fulfilling this purpose, some political and social organization in the states form strategy of a massive campaigning and movements. Moreover, some of the states being under the power of opposition. The demand of separate states has emerged out for the reason that the central government intentionally has been convincing at them regarding the financial aids and other developmental plans. The most extreme form of regionalism is to burst out of Indian Republic and Union or to establish separate states. In this context, massive endeavors to burst out through India were made by Tamil Nadu Naga revolters, Akali Dal in Punjab, Mizos in Assam, etc. The purpose behind such extremist feeling was to burst out through India and establish separate states. For example, Mizos wanted to establish separate Mizoram, Akali Dal wanted to establish an independent Khalistan, etc. The border issue of Maharashtra and Karnataka has been still in burning situation without any solution. In this context, it is observed that the Marathi and Kannada people residing near the border have been doing noxious agitation for their own rights. In Andhra Pradesh, the people have been demanding of a separate Telangana state while in some of the states such as Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Orissa, the feeling of affection and elegance about the states have arose. For example, in Gujarat, the conflict between Gujarat and Saurashtra, in Madhya Pradesh, the conflict between Mahakashal and Bhopal, in Rajasthan, the conflict between East Rajasthan and West Rajasthan have been going on for the independent existence of states. Recently, the states such as Uttaranchal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh have been separately formed and established. Besides, in West Bengal, the demand of separate hilly region of Darjeeling has been cropping out. In this way, it is observed that the issue of regionalism has been strongly cropping up in the various states of India. The people in the states may feel malice regarding language, religion, caste, creed, etc. and that is why the integrity of society begins to split, which prones towards generating the opposing force. Besides, the cropping up various issues lead to create psychological alienation in the minds of people, and this kind of situation indicates nothing but to rise the conflict of regionalism and is also responsible for bringing hurdles into process of nation's development and integrity. The nature of Indian Constitution is approved as integrated, but to bring this into actual reality, there is surging need to create a basic social and cultural economical balance. Besides, for achieving this purpose, the political parties and leaders, by leaving their selfishness and narrow feeling, need to take precautions and care of all this. Moreover, being a political power, they should make honest endeavors in the direction to reduce the gap between rich and poor, to resolve the issues concerned with religion, caste, language, with an object to impart humanly justice to the people and reduce the regional imbalance. Now we are going to focus language in Indian politics. Introduction. The structure of states in India being based on languages, the issue of language has always remained at the center of regionalism. However, during the regime of British, the provinces were created for facilitating the administration. The prime reason behind the demand of language-based structure by the Congress was that the language is medium of states, culture, tradition and literature. Besides, one of the anticipation was that the people talking the same language in the state can be useful to bring about all-round development of the state. The same recommendation were made by the appointed commission for restructuring the language-based states. In this way, it helps to create uniformity in states and can also be helpful for performing the effective and constructive works in public interest. Moreover, it is also construed that the state can bring about all-round development of its personality influenced by running administration in the concerned language, though various other languages are also being spoken in the state. Now we are going to see the nature of linguisticness. The issue of language has not been resolved even after more than 6 decades of the independence of India. The southern states in India intensively opposed to Hindi as the major language. It is because the influence of language in the Indian administrative system has not yet been reduced. Whatsoever generally speaking in India, there are number of people speaking various languages. There are 179 languages and 554 dialects in India, amongst which 18 languages are accepted the major languages. These are as below. The first language, Assami, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Malayalam, Marathi, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Sindhi, Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali. Adding to these, there are 9 scripts used officially for communication in India, but out of which Devanagari script is mostly and widely used. As a part from the above mentioned 18 languages, the other languages are also used by the concerned groups, castes, tribes in India for a better communication. Linguisticism. In India, various languages are spoken by the various people, but as practically observed the languages are only for the means of interaction and communication. It has nothing to do with politics, but it is unfortunate to debate and raise the issue that whether the medium of education should be English or Marathi or any other regional language. It is also widely observed that those who have learned through English medium are mostly preferred for the jobs at the central level, resulting into those who learnt in regional languages are denied the jobs though they are eligible and qualified. Now we are going to see Hindi as a national language. After the independence of India, Hindi became the national language. It is considered as the language of national integrity, administration and general communication. But it cannot be ignored that non-Hindi speaking states have opposed Hindi as the national language. For example, there are noxious movement and campaigns to oppose Hindi as a national language in the states such as Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Kerala, Pondicherry, etc. On the contrary, the states such as Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra have vindicated Hindi as a national language by opposing English to some extent. The central government has made endeavors from time to time to propagate and increase the importance of Hindi language by amending the laws and policies regarding the language, but unfortunately the central government has not been mostly successful in it. In fact, the use of regional language should be made for administration, education, rendering justice, imparting knowledge, as the people can better understand in their regional languages. Besides, the central government can achieve people's cooperation, participation by establishing good affectionate relationship through the medium of a single equal medium of language. Whatsoever it is necessary to accept Hindi as the national language to raise the feeling of uniteness and nationality among the regional language without making any discrimination. Things responsible for raising the issue of linguistic are: the first, love and affection for a regional language; second one, proponents of Hindi and role of Hindi opposition; the third one, script issues; fourth one, place of English language; and the last, command on regional language. Now we are going to see the conclusion. The Indian political parties and regional leaders have wrongly used linguisticism as one of the means to achieve the political power, but it's a need of hour that they should be sincerely think for the welfare of the nation and the states, rather using it for fulfilling their selfish motives or in favor of a party. Besides, it is also necessary that all of us should contribute to resolve the issue of linguisticism through the feeling of cooperation and understanding. After all, we are all Indians and consider that the language are only the mediums of expressing our thought, views, ideas, imagination, but not a matter of a conflict or any sort of discrimination. There are tests to your knowledge. Certain questions are here. The first one, what is regionalism? The second question, explain the factors responsible for regionalism. The third question, explain the nature of regionalism. The fourth, how many states are comprised in Indian Republic? The fifth one, which new states were established in the year 2000? Sixth one, evaluate regionalism in Indian politics. The seventh one, in which year was the reconstructing of state based on language was done in India? Eighth one, how many total languages and dialectics are spoken in India? The next question, how many major languages are identified in India? Next question, the state the major languages in India. Second last, what is linguisticism? And the last question, state the things responsible for raising linguisticism in India.